BFDIA 21 was just released after they announced the release date, and the episode is called
We're Not Friends.
So I'm gonna recap the Cake and Steak, but strangely, instead of deciding who's gonna be eliminated, the Cake and Steak is gonna decide who the next host is gonna be. This is gonna get chaotic because instead of letting people choose between either 2 or 6 options, the forum voting will have you input the name of who you want to be the next host. I also forgot to mention that the thumbnail contains Leafy and Pin.
We got a total of 112,224 votes. Oh boy, this will be long. There were 600 people who were voted for. Basketball claimed there were invalid votes, and added up a total of 3,979 votes, those being of people who Basketball claimed were non-existent. Speaking of non-existent, he got 2,261 votes. Because Algebralians haven't arrived yet, numbers don't count either, and that means 4, who got 1,168 votes, and 1,200 voters voted for multiple people, who Basketball also claimed didn't count, and Taco claimed that also included bugs, eliminated contestants, and ABCDEFG characters. Leafy brought in a random prize wheel out of nowhere, and of all the options, this one is chosen. The toilet lands on Pin, so Leafy spins the wheel, and this is what it lands on.
Why are we getting more hard objects again?
Leafy is knocked out cold, and Pin spins it yet again.
I hope we're not missing the voting, but I think they might just give up by now. Anyways, of all the prize options available, this is what the prize option lands on. Yeah, I think Leafy and Pin would just give up by now. But they don't. Leafy spins again. Wrench, anvil, hammer. Now Blocky decides to continue the votes.
Spikeball got a measly 1 vote. Zerandis voted for him. He was the only one, the oddball in a group of normal voters. Also at 1 vote, it's Dome, Closet Door, Basket, Quinny's Left Arm, Bead, Bowling Ball, Bowling Pin, and so many people that Needle and Tennis Ball leave.
This is punctuated by a bunch of scenes.
The vote is incomplete, and instead of showing the rest of the people who got only 1 vote, it shows 5 of the many people who got 5 votes, being Bubble Speaker Box, Camera, Coffee Drop, Green Crayon, and Wind Token. So starting off with the people who got 6 votes, it's none other than O. Also losing is the Crusher that Flower attempted to use to crush me twice, Nichols Chunk, the Sky Whistle, and Cyan Ice Cube with eye patch rotated 17 degrees counterclockwise.
8-Ball claimed that the non-hosters will be sent to the Tiny Loser Chamber, which has proven to be correct as everyone falls into the propeller. So many events later,
and so many voters later, Rose, the Moon, the Magical Die of Judgment, and the Get Well card got 13 votes. Purple Girl with Wind Hair and Angry Eyes and Toilet got 14 votes. Black and White Cookie got 15 votes, and Glue got 16 votes.
Glue opted for a different way, so Racer chose to crush them, which wasn't what Glue meant.
Dream Island also got 16 votes. So much for Leafy and Fiery.
Qual claims that only 200 debuts remain, and TV believes that there are now 126.
Now we are down to Golf Ball and Snowball and Book and Fiery Speaker Box and Billy Bob Joe and Guitar and Marker the Green and Flower Speaker Box and Paprika and Woody and TV and Blocky and Teardrop and Me and the Sun and the Circular Floating Clone and Giant David and Cloudy and Bobby and Price Tag and Match and Fanny and Taco and Freeze and Lego Brick and Jack and Triangle Speaker Box and Horrifying Sludge and Needle and Meatball and Gabby and Purple Face and Eraser and Ruby and Pencil and Spikeball Speaker Box and Pie and the Bugs and Waffle and Lightning and Eggy and Basketball and Donut and Your Mom and Flower and Pan Flute and Recovery Center and Coiny and Puffball and Fish and Saw and Boombox and Grassy and Lollipop and Yellow Face and Foldy and Pin and Tree and Pen and Robot Flower and Barbecue Sauce and the Weak Trampling Fortress and Oilberry and the Fire Monster and Robot and Pineapple and Jack and Jellify and the Pat Amoeba and Leafy and 2 and David and Michael and Balloony and Sam and the Fish Monster and Lily and Loser and Non-Existy and Marker and Leafy Speaker Box and Carrot Cake and the Locker of Losers and the Tiny Loser Chamber and Nickel and Bracelet and Evil Leafy and Fiery and Wheeling Oil Cake and Ice Cube and Pillow and the Hand-Powered Recovery Center and Alien Teardrop Speaker Box and a Phone and Propeller Hat and Stapy and Bubble and 2 and Tennis Ball and Bottle and Tune and Gabby and Bell and Black Hole and Clock and Cake and Gelatin and 8-Ball and Puffball Speaker Box and Spongy and Dora and Barf Bag and Fry and the Cake and Lewis and Fiery Jr. and the Cheese Orb and Remote and Bag and Weird Speaker Box and Rocky and Grape and Mirror and Fiery Speaker Boxes Clone and Football.
Another row of long events. Instead of going to the rest of the votes, Bottle skips to the final 10.
Now there are 10 lucky candidates. Will it be me, Evil Leafy, Fiery, the Fish Monster, Fries, Gelatin, Golf Ball, Leafy, Ruby, or Woody? Not making it to the top 7 are Gelatin and Ruby and Woody. Also at just over 3k votes is Evil Leafy. Only 3,088 voters appreciated her evilness. Now there are only 6 of us. After many events, Cake announces that the Fishy Fish is not in the Fishy 5, along with Fiery and Golf Ball. Now it's down to me, the Road, and the runner-up.
And Golf Ball caused Evil Leafy to die.
And Penn has put the final nail in the coffin by announcing me as 3rd place with a measly 4,588 votes. Time to go back to my ball pit. Fries and Leafy, you are the final 2. Most of the remaining 78,652 votes were on the remaining 600 or so failed hosts. And now, with the greatest point in BFDIA history, hosting the game is...
It's Leafy.
This is our first bright light to light up the Dark Ages. At least the series ends on a respectful note, without Leafy being announced, until the Singer. And Eve Leafy appeared at the end of the Singer, and as promised, episode 21 had no challenge. For some reason, on May 23, 2025, Wesley TRV edited the wiki so that the dislike counts are completely hidden. According to the last known vote count, Quinny was going to be safe with 549 dislikes, with Penn being eliminated at 1,327 dislikes. Jack and Jofi should always keep the like-to-dislike ratio public, and never privatize it. This was a very dumb move, and I hope they don't do that with the next episode.